Welcome to Los Cuentos del Finado Jose, or Dead Jose. The stories of Dead Jose. Let's begin. So this story is called The Demon House. And you'll know why it's called that in a little bit. So my mom comes to the United States in the late 60s, early 70s. My brother is born. She falls in love. She falls out of love. They get divorced, right? And she falls in love again and marries my father, and they have me. But in the 80s, my grandfather starts getting sick. She has to go back for some time, and that's when I was born, in the 80s. I was about a month old, maybe less. She's looking for an apartment, right? For a place for us to be. And so she finds this place. It's a really big house. It's like one of those old Spanish colonial style homes with, the terracotta on the roof, like those Spanish tiles. It's huge. It's beautiful. The only thing about this house is that behind the house, not too far away, is a cemetery. She thinks nothing of it. God knows why. And everybody moves in, right? So there's my father, who's away mostly during the night working. There's my mother. There's my brother, who was probably 10 years old. And there's me, a 1 month old, maybe less. Almost immediately, things start happening. And the first thing that happens is that late at night, my mom hears like these heavy boot steps. And not just boot steps, but boot steps with spurs, right? But she doesn't think anything of it. She thinks like, well, maybe somebody's like walking outside and like they're working or something. Like maybe it's just, somebody walking back and forth and, we can hear it because maybe, the walls are thin, or maybe it's the windows or whatever. And she makes up all these stories, right? These excuses. And she goes back to sleep. She doesn't think anything of it. Other than that, there's nothing really happening, right? Like, so, she continues with her life. But about a week or so later, she gets woken up in the middle of the night, and she hears arguing like at the entrance of the house. And my brother's room was towards the entrance of the house, and she thinks, oh, I bet that's my father, his stepfather, that caught him awake late at night playing his little video games. My brother was always a fiend about video games. So she says like, oh, good. I'm glad that, he called him out because he's, awake past his bedtime. And so like, she waits. So she waits for him to, finish arguing with my brother. And she waits for him to come into the room. And she waits, and she waits, and she waits. And she gets up, right? Because it's strange that he hasn't come into the bedroom yet, my father. And she looks out in the hallway, and everything is quiet. Like a cemetery. And she walks up towards the front of the house, and she opens up my brother's bedroom, and he is knocked out asleep. And it seems like he's been like that for a good while. So she closes the door, and she walks throughout the house. He's not there. And she goes back. She lies down, and a couple of hours later, around like dawn, when my dad comes in, she goes like, did you come in earlier? And he's like, no, I've been working all night. So it was nobody. So that happens. And that's the second thing. And she starts getting kind of creeped out. And some time goes by. About a month or so. So she's about to go to sleep. And she hasn't quite fallen asleep. It's that moment, you know, when you're like just lying down with your eyes open in the dark. No nightlight, mind you. And she above her bed was a skylight. And the moon was shining through the skylight. And she looks at the figure that it's making on her bedspread. And she sees that the light is getting narrower and wider, and then it gets taller, and then it gets narrow like a little box, and then it starts expanding again. And she thinks, you know, it's so strange, because if the moon is above my skylight, wouldn't it fill up the whole space? And as she thinks this, she looks up and she sees a huge dark shadow above my crib. And she gives a shout. She gets so scared, she gives a shout. And the moment she gives a shout, like the thing goes, and then she hears, like it disappears, and then she hears the noise, boom, 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 and like a slam, as if the door was being slammed. God knows why. My story. And she is officially freaked the F out. And she does not go back to sleep that night. At that point, she is freaked out. This huge shadow has just leaned over, right, my bassinet. And the next morning, early, first thing in the morning, she calls her sister, my aunt, and she tells her the story. Look, this is what's been happening. And my aunt has always been like a very spiritual person, and she knows somebody who dabbles in the spiritual, right? Like this very religious lady, which was one of her best friends. And because my aunt knows this lady, she tells her the story. This is what's happening. And the figure was over the child's bed, bassinet, yada yada. And the lady goes, you have to baptize that child now, like yesterday, because obviously everything in Latin America is about being baptized, right? So she's like, you have to baptize that child immediately. And so they do like a quick, like, there's two types of, if you're Catholic, there's two types. There's like putting the water is what it's called. And so you have like a madrina for that, and a godmother for that, and a godfather that puts water, and it's just an in-home thing. And then you have the official church baptism. So I had that first.